Let's talk about something that's been confusing a lot of players lately, the Mineplex player count. You log in, see a high number online, and think, hey, maybe Mineplex is active again. But then you join a lobby, try to queue up for a game, and no one's there. So the question people are starting to ask is Mineplex spoofing players? Let's break it down. At first glance, it looks suspicious. The server list shows hundreds of players online, but the public lobbies and minigames are empty. This mismatch makes it seem like there's something shady going on, but no, Mineplex isn't spoofing. The high player count comes from a partnership between Mineplex and the content creator Slushy Noobs. Right now, Mineplex is hosting a private Patreon-only SMP called SlushyCraft, which is only accessible to fans who support the creator financially. So yes, those players are technically online, but they're not on the main server, and they're not playing Mineplex public games. This kind of setup falls under what's typically called a white-labeled experience, where one party provides the backend infrastructure and another handles the branding, promotion, and overall player experience. In this case, Mineplex hosts the server, but Slushy Noobs runs and markets it entirely under their own brand. But here's where things get contradictory. Mineplex is treating this as a white-labeled arrangement, but at the same time, they've publicly claimed that the SMP is part of their broader ecosystem. And that goes against the definition of a white-labeled service. If it's truly white-labeled, it should be separate and independent, not counted as part of your main server experience. This is where the confusion starts. Mineplex combines the player count from SlushyCraft with the public server's total, but they offer no visible indicator that the SMP even exists, let alone that it's private and only accessible through the creator's Patreon. So players logging in through Mineplex.com see a high player count, expect full lobbies, and realize something just doesn't add up. There's no mention of SlushyCraft, no context, just a misleading number, and a mostly empty server. The player count shown on the server list includes everyone connected to Mineplex's infrastructure, even if they're not playing public games. Most players assume that that number reflects the main experience, the lobbies, the minigames, the matchmaking, not a private paywalled SMP. Even when Mineplex adds a disclaimer in the hub or an in-game indicator, it doesn't fix what players see before they log in. The server list only shows one global number. You think you're joining a revived server, but you're not. You're seeing activity that you can't even access. Mineplex addressed the confusion and said they plan to make it clearer where the players are connected. They also made this statement in their announcement. It reintroduces a large player base to Minecraft through our ecosystem, but that line highlights the problem. These players aren't being reintroduced to Mineplex, they're playing a separate survival world with their favorite creator. They're not engaging with the main games and they're likely not to switch over. And honestly, if I was a fan of the creator, I just want to play the server I paid for, not be funneled into something else. Now that we've cleared up the confusion around white labeling, let's talk about something that could actually benefit Mineplex. And that's when a creator works with the studio to build something public. If a creator teamed up with Mineplex to design a game or a mode that's available to everyone, that kind of partnership would make sense. It's still creator branded, it still draws in that fan base, but it also becomes part of the main network, something that public players can engage with. If a creator teamed up with Mineplex to design a game or a mode that's available to everyone, that kind of partnership would make sense. It's still creator branded, it still draws in that fan base, but it also becomes part of the main network, something that normal players can engage with. That's the key difference. When a creator's content is fully integrated into the Mineplex experience, it drives activity across the whole server. Players might log on to try that one game, but then stick around for others. Lobbies get populated, matchmaking improves, and the ecosystem actually grows. Right now, SlushyCraft doesn't even do that. It's locked behind a paywall, it's separate from the public games, and its players never even touch the rest of the network. But if Mineplex focused on collaborative, public-facing projects, that kind of creator involvement could breathe real life back into the server. It's likely the partnership helps fund the server, which is fair. Hosting costs money, and charging creators to run private servers can support the network. But if you're going to do that, you have to be transparent. Because from the outside, it just looks like you're inflating numbers to attract players, and that damages trust. So what should Mineplex do? If they're going to host private creator servers, they need to stop merging those players into the public count. The server list shows a single number. Most players assume it reflects who's playing the actual games, not who's on a gated Patreon exclusive SMP. This isn't just a technical issue, It's about being honest with your community, because when expectations don't match reality, players walk away feeling misled. Let me know your thoughts. Did you notice the weird player count? Do you think hosting private SMPs like this helps or hurts the network? Thanks for watching, I'll see you in the next one.